What if I told you that you could add a full decade, maybe even more, to your life? And no, I'm not talking about some sci-fi fantasy. I'm talking about 5 simple habits, all backed by a massive scientific study from Harvard. So let's break down exactly how it works.
All right, here's our game plan. First, we're going to look at the incredible promise of a longer life that the science shows us. Then, we'll dive into each of the 5 pillars: fueling your body right, making movement a must-do, finding your healthy weight, and the 2 habits you've got to drop. And finally, we'll see how it all comes together to give you that extra decade. So, what is this longevity promise all about? Well, it comes from a huge landmark study out of the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health. They looked at tons of data on what happens when people stick to just a few key healthy habits, and the results are frankly mind-blowing.
Okay, just look at this number. For women who consistently nail all 5 of the habits we're about to cover, researchers found they could live up to an extra 14 years. I mean, let that sink in. That's not a small bump. That's a massive extension to a healthy, vibrant life.
And it's an incredible story for men, too. The study found that men could tack on an extra 12 years to their lifespan just by adopting these same habits. This just goes to show how much power we really have in our own hands.
So, here's the most important part. This isn't about some miracle drug or a secret, complicated formula. Nope. It all boils down to prevention. It's these 5 simple but super powerful lifestyle choices that act as the tools to build that longer life. So let's dig into the first one.
Pillar number 1 is all about what's on your plate. We are talking about maintaining a high-quality, healthy diet. If you need a model, think about things like the Mediterranean diet, which has been studied for years and is just a fantastic blueprint.
Now, what I love about this is how beautifully simple it is. This isn't about counting every single calorie. It's just a focus on eating more of the good stuff. Your fruits, your veggies, whole grains, nuts, healthy fats. And at the very same time, eating less of the stuff we all know can cause problems, like red and processed meats, sugary drinks, and all those ultra-processed foods. And here's a really great little mental trick to use. Just aim for a rainbow on your plate. See, all those different colors in your fruits and vegetables, they actually represent different phytonutrients, these awesome little compounds that protect our bodies. So the more colors you get, the wider the variety of benefits you're getting. Okay, so you're eating right. Building on that, we have pillar number 2, which I like to call the movement mandate, regular exercise. This is absolutely crucial, not just for your heart, but for keeping your muscle mass as you get older. It's a key way to fight off age-related muscle loss, a condition called sarcopenia.
So what does regular exercise actually look like?
Well, here's your first target number, 150. That's 150 minutes a week of moderate activity. And this shows just how achievable that is. We're talking about things like a brisk walk. That breaks down to just over 20 minutes a day. Totally doable, right? Now, if you're someone who likes to go a little harder, you can actually hit that same goal in half the time. The target for vigorous activity, think jogging, a cycling class, anything that really gets that heart rate pumping, is just 75 minutes a week. So let's just recap the plan. Step 1, hit that cardio target, either 150 or 75 minutes. Step 2, and this is important, don't forget to add strength training in there a couple of times a week to keep your bones strong and your metabolism humming. But really, the most important step of all, consistency. Daily movement, even if it's just in short 10-minute bursts, is so much more powerful than trying to cram it all in on the weekend. Okay, moving on to our third pillar, maintaining a healthy body weight. Really, this is all about keeping your body mass index, or BMI, in that healthy zone to dramatically lower your risk for a whole bunch of chronic diseases. And this chart just lays it out so clearly. The goal, the sweet spot, is to be in that highlighted healthy range, a BMI somewhere between 18.5 and 24.9. Staying in that zone is one of the best things you can do to lower your risk for stuff like type 2 diabetes and heart disease. And listen, if that healthy range feels really far off right now, please don't be discouraged. Here is some amazing news from the research. Even a small, modest weight loss, we're talking just 5% of your body weight, can lead to huge improvements in your health. Small steps really do make a big difference. So the first 3 pillars were all about things to add to your life. These next 2, they're about what to avoid, or at least limit. And we have to start with the biggest one of all, smoking. I mean, this quote really says it all. There is zero ambiguity here. When it comes to living a long life,
Avoiding tobacco is simply non-negotiable. It is one of the single most powerful things you can ever do for your health. And hey, if you do smoke right now, the benefits of quitting start almost immediately, and they are profound. Just look at this timeline. Within 24 hours, one day, your risk of a heart attack starts to drop. And it doesn't matter how old you are, quitting helps right away. In the long run, you could add as much as a decade back to your life. What an incredible return on investment.
Okay, our fifth and final pillar is all about alcohol. And the guidance here isn't necessarily about quitting completely, but about one keyword: moderation. The goal is to avoid heavy drinking, which we know is linked to some really serious health risks, like liver damage and an increased risk for certain cancers. So we've walked through all 5 habits. Now it's time to put it all together. Because here's the real secret. While each one of these habits is good on its own, their true life-changing power comes when you combine them. It's a synergistic effect. So let's look at them all together one last time. A healthy diet, regular exercise, maintaining a healthy weight, never smoking, and drinking in moderation. These right here, these are the 5 pillars that, according to this amazing Harvard research, build the foundation for a much longer, much more vital life. And this right here is really the ultimate takeaway from all of this. You know, the most powerful medicine that we have isn't something you find in a pharmacy. It's found in our daily choices. These preventative habits are truly the most effective tools we have to get that long-term vitality we're all looking for. So, I want you to think of these 5 habits as 5 keys that can unlock a longer, healthier life. So the only question left is, which key are you going to turn first? Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer.